My next guests know how to keep their audiences wanting more. Here with me now are actors Blair Underwood, Brian White, and Vanessa Williams. Blair, Vanessa, Brian, welcome to Washington Watch in Los Angeles.
Thank you, Roland.
Let's get right to this thing. All of you in front of the camera, in terms of in movies and films, and you name it. But all of a sudden, you're seeing so many folks make that transition to behind the camera. Mm-hmm. Is it because of control and power?
Yeah, in a word.
Yeah. Simply calling it, being able to create your own destiny and not have to be beholden to a studio or a network or anybody else. And, man, today with the technology, you can take your cell phone and make videos and tell stories. It's about storytelling. Storytelling and marketing those stories.
That's it in a nutshell. If you own the cameras, you can decide what's put in front of them, who's put in front of them, what stories are told, how they're told, the perspective. And, that's crucial, important, because we've never had that kind of power or authority before in this business.
I don't think people truly understand this whole notion of the green light process, who is actually sitting in that particular seat. I mean, you hear these stories about so-and-so who's a vice president here, who's over here, but at the end of the day, you don't have, to my knowledge, one person, African-American, sitting in a position to sit there and say, yes, do it.
No,
but the beautiful thing about how the technology has leveled the playing field. About 10 years ago, Bill Duke and his acting boot camp, who was honored this week at the DGA, was talking about we don't need to wait for permission after permission. It's like take your phone camera and create whatever you want to see and put it up virally and create your audience and your wealth stream. It's economics, it's all of that stuff. We don't have to wait for some big okay from someone sitting in a suit. And the whole thing is changing right beneath our feet, that we better get on the front lines of like, well, how are we gonna control this medium? The internet has exploded the whole thing.
Is it possible to envision and actually see a black united artist?
There's a renaissance going on in Hollywood with all brown people, all minorities. We're seeing the comeuppance, especially this year with Precious. And again, it's a call to action. If we don't support quality products, quality TV shows, quality films as a community, if we don't put our money in there, not bootleg, make sure that the box office goes up, that the awareness is up, things aren't going to change. So we all have a personal responsibility.
But you're talking about all those folks at the top getting together and say, this is what we want to see and this is how we're going to see it. And we're going to pull up the brothers and sisters from who are scratching at the door to come in and say, let's develop your talent, let's develop these next projects. So it's about our coming together. When are you going to start the meeting?
You hit the nail on the head about it starting at the top, because those people have fought and scratched and clawed to get to the top a very specific way. It's not the same way that I have to go about things. So now they've got their position and they're protecting it. You have to undo that sense of needing to protect.
Well, I don't necessarily think it's about protection and completely, but they got to fight as hard, to maintain their status and to get out of the movie as anybody on the other rungs.
Well, it's like the healthcare system. You're going to have to give up something to get it to change. If you're at the top and you're making X amount of dollars, you're going to have to make a little bit less, have a little bit more, a little bit less control to let more people come into that community, so that we do have what you're talking about.
It's interesting when you talk about the new distribution channels, when you talk about what is available. It's interesting when African Americans will also denigrate what is there. We talk about TV One. Folks will say, oh man, all you're doing is showing these old comedies and movies and things along those lines. But the reality is, Lincoln Heights is on TV One. Folks may not have seen it the first time. The Taye Diggs show that was on ABC, it didn't even get its full airing. I love the show, and I'm like, man, I want to see the rest of the episodes. We had a platform for that particular show. And so all of a sudden, for African Americans in Hollywood, there's now another outlet, another opportunity to be able to showcase wares.
That's it.
And it's appreciating that it's actually there versus saying, well, you should be doing this, this, and this. Kind of like, well, this is what it is right now.
You content and have the meeting at TV One. They're very open. They're very open to say what you got going on. So it's like, among our peers, we can just come with the ideas.
I just feel you can always have complaints, to your point, but it's all about let's focus on what is the progression that we have, and the fact that you have a platform like TV One and other outlets, again, the internet and other places. Let's focus on the positive.
I remember when Stomp the Yard came out, and there was this reaction, which I just did not understand at all, even amongst members of my own fraternity, and they actually had, Alpha Alpha removed from the film, which to me was stupid. And it's like, okay, fine. If you want to pay a fee, licensing fee, that's fine. But what bothered me, folks were saying, well, you have this film, and so it's really glorifying an aspect of fraternities as opposed to all the other things that we do. And I'm going, okay, stop. Let's just be honest. People are attending step shows and they're not attending community service projects.
Right.
But my attitude is the film did focus on academics. It did talk about family, the relationship that actually exists. And so as an artist, does it drive you crazy when folks begin to want you to project every single thing in one film? And you're like, look, we got 2 hours.
And we got to take steps. It's one step at a time.
And frankly, I love that step part. All those muscles bulging. Hey, that was the highlight for me. I know, really.
Right, get it. Right. Wait a minute. A flashback and hot flashes. Right.
Exactly. No, for real. But no, we can't do everything. It's one story. It's one thing. And so it just speaks to the need for more, the need to cover all the bases, but one story can't do that. And as an artist, I don't feel responsible for that. I'm going to tell my story.
And I'll give you an example. One film that comes to mind that when I talk about this film, folks are like, huh? That I thought one of the strongest socially conscious films that spoke to people, Drop Squad.
Erica South.
Oh, yeah. And it just was under the radar. And maybe a little bit ahead of its time.
Right.
Maybe a little bit ahead of its time, but no. David was trying to do some major wake-up. To
talk about that. I mean, just what
we shot in D.C. We were on the Howard campus, and you know, it was really about dealing with deprogramming this wayward brother, and how we were going to bring him back to the fold. And he was very corporatized and very like it's all about white is right. And I thought it was so progressive and profound. We did it. Tico Wells was in it. It was amazing, but no, it didn't have much traction at all. The indie circuit, the festival circuit was about as much traction as it got.
And look, I would tell you, I own the DVD.
Sweet that
I own the DVD. No, I own the DVD. Because again, though, I mean, first of all, I'm always looking at different films, and I purposely buy the DVDs of black films for my library because I have 9 nieces, 4 nephews. So I want them to understand that, look, whether it's documentaries and other films, and look, here's a different view that you may not be aware of, so as they get older, they'll have access to it. But another movie I want to bring up, I talked about Stomp the Yard, talked about Drop Squad, and again, understanding the pressures that filmmakers and producers have, and that is when people begin to say, I need you to put a rapper in the film, I need you to put a hip-hop song in the film so you can have buy-in. That happened with Asunder. Tim Reed faced that as well. Folks were saying, okay, no, if you put some hip-hop in the music, then we'll go ahead and put it out. And he was like, okay, it doesn't fit with anything in the doggone film.
At all. No, you did, and Tim Reed directed that and executive produced it, and it was a slice of black America, because people, what mainstream America or the world don't really realize.
Crazy black stalker. You know what I'm saying? I mean, white stalkers, Hispanic stalker, he's a black stalker.
That's right, that's right.
They come in the rainbow.
We come in different shades and sizes, and we have different cultural instincts, and this spoke to a different cultural instinct that the so-called buyers wanted to see, and they were telling us what the marketplace would bear, which didn't hold true, because people talk about that film to this day. So that's why this show and conversations like this are important for people to say, take your ideas, take your thoughts, take your technology, and just do it.